Yo, hey, what's up guys? Today I got some magic numbers again for you. The topic of today is Clanboss. First I was kind of doing my stuff in Hydra, just check out what's going on there. And now I'm going to Clanboss and just trying to break it. And how am I gonna break it? We're gonna do a infinity comp for it. But not only that one, we are using campaign farmable champions. And also this will work from hard to ultra nightmare, from void affinity to green affinity, every affinity you can imagine, even something is not out there yet. And I took like a couple hours in the speed calculator to actually make it work, and I spent some resources. I farmed 2 Valeries and stuff, and it would be great if you put a like on the video if you appreciate what I do right now, because I wanna just give everybody the chance right now to get their Clanboss running with the Wixwell champion. And of course, obviously, you need your Wixwell. That is the topic of today, Infinity Comp. Without him, it cannot be done. But we're gonna check a second into the presets. They are really important. So we're gonna do that one on Wixwell. We're gonna do that one on Harris. And Valerie number 1, Valerie number 2, and Kale. Of course, later on, we will not use Kale. We will use a better DPS 100%, but I just wanted to make a point that it is actually working and stuff. So how is the team working? The team is kind of genius because we have kind of 3 cleansers in there. Not fully. The decrease speed will still go on you on green affinity, but one of those champions will actually cleanse it down to 1 duration, and then you take a turn and you kind of immediately lose it. That's why it's gonna work. And it's hard to make a team that goes all affinities and stuff without block debuffs. Block debuffs is the easiest way, but there is no block debuffs farmable, I think, plus a increased speed. And we are going on a 2-to-1 ratio on the boss. And those champions basically are 3 cleansers that they will cleanse in each affinity different. Like when we go on Nightwear, Red Affinity, they will cleanse differently and everything will be okay. Also, if we go Green Affinity, they do cleansing in another way. For example, on Green Affinity, Harris is our stun target. That's why it's actually working, and we don't even need a cleanse because she will get stunned and nobody else that matters is technically getting a stun. And you still have the increased speed from her because of the buff increase all the time and stuff. So, without further ado, let's go into the run. I'm gonna explain a little bit. Right now, we are on Ultra Nightmare, Green Affinity. And the easiest way to explain it is, it does not matter what happens on the end on decreased speed, who guarded, who not guarded, because sometimes you see right now they're gonna resist and stuff and so on. But the easiest way to explain it is they never will fall out of turn order. So everybody will take a turn after another, and some champions of them can mix up the order. Like Valerie's, Harris, they can flip around a little bit, but on the end we will still do the same amount of turns, while the other takes the amount of turns, so we will never fall out of it. So at this point, even our full cleanse champion right there, Harris, is gonna be stunned, and we actually don't need it. Every time the decrease speed is gonna happen, one of those Valeries will actually put it down to 1 turn duration, and then you take a turn and you will immediately lose it. That's why it is actually working. And you can imagine for yourself that on Green Affinity it's a little bit harder to set up. So on the end, if Green Affinity works and Void works on your affinity, then you basically know everything else between will also work, like Red Affinity, Blue Affinity and stuff, if you know the Void one is working, while the Green Affinity is also working. Then we basically can say on the end if it's working on all stages, all thingies and stuff like that. I think on the end I might, we have to change it around to like, in a second I will go into Nightmare mode and I will show you a different affinity, what changes and stuff, so you kind of understand what the genius part behind it, because it kind of looks like, hey, the team is working, wow. But first of all, there are farmable champions in here to just go in campaign, do it over there, and you can go on all affinities and stuff. If you just flat out copy the numbers, you can just imagine for yourself that, yeah, you will be happy on the end because it's just working and you can live with something else. The only thing that is a little bit like a requirement, I wouldn't call it a requirement, it kind of depends how you actually build up your team. Wixwell at this moment for me needs a reflex set. Without it, Harris, right, is gonna get her shield decreased to a certain point that Wixwell is not gonna increase it anymore. So we kind of have to take a couple turns on him. But I also know if I really want to do it and I give Harris? Yes, Harris. I give her really like defense-based gear, which is all defense. If I have a better DPS in here, like a Geomancer or something, I can just make it work without a reflex set. But at this point, I'm on my own account. I need to spend my resources, and I can just not literally take all the good gear and better gear I have on the account to make them defense-like. So reflex is basically the easiest way, and you don't even need the best stats on your like HP and stuff on your Wixwell, because he will never be the stun target in this comp. Like he can never been he gets the counter attack and the boss is literally ignoring counter attack and he's the only one who has it, so he will never be the stun target, and you can literally just use kind of okay gear, but you want defense on your Wixwell, like defense, speed, accuracy, and then the rest kind of doesn't matter if he got like a little bit crit rate or something, whatever. Also, in my case right now, the damage is not looking really good. Yes, I can put a couple of War Masters in here and everything okay. I think the best key what I did was 67 million. I was kind of proud that it went so far, but yeah, it's just not a wonky. But yes, you know it for yourself, you can just use another DPS and it will be way better. And also, let's go jump into Nightmare, where we change the difficulty and also the affinity. Alright, we're gonna tackle Nightmare, we will change affinity, and also we will change, obviously the speed and stuff, so you can kind of see for yourself. I'm not joking around, that is literally working on all stages and everything you can imagine. So we will go in, and right before we saw Harris, yes. I'm so confused about her. Harris got the stun all the time, and that's why she was basically just standing around there, got the stun all the time. So what is she actually doing in there? Can we just not bring another champion that does just increase speed? No, we cannot, because for example right now, you will see what's gonna happen when the boss is putting out the stun. Right now, we set up the way, so one of our Valkyrie will get the stun. I could use Kale in front of my stuff and he gets the stun. Okay, I could do it, but for a good example right now, we catch the stun on our Valerie right now. That is literally different. And now we will go in, but another Valerie is coming, cleansing it off right now. And yeah, makes it so much easier. Everything is so cool. Every stage is kind of different. A little bit different, who is cleansing, who is super important, who not. For example, right now Harris is still not doing anything too great for us. Yes, the example was kind of a little bit weak, but it is because of affinity right now. In another affinity, we can use literally, we can play around. You see two Valeries right now. It is kind of important right now that you have two blue buff extenders right there, so they can catch up each other and stuff. But you could change one of those Valeries to for example, a Mikage, and use another blue affinity DPS in the spot of the DPS, and he will catch the stun. And in one of those affinities, I can't quite remember which one it was, but then Harris is gonna cleanse another Valerie, or I think it was on Ultra Nightmare that Harris is actually gonna cleanse the Valerie on the end, because it's different per stage. So each stage basically has a little bit of a different tune, who is cleansing and who not, and everybody in here has a role. It kind of looks like Harris is not gonna do anything besides the increase speed, but she is doing on one of those stages exactly what you want. And you can see right now it is also working. We are gonna increase the Nightmare would work without the reflex set. But if you really want it, you don't need a reflex set on him. You just need proper stats on your champion who gets the stun. And yeah, you put a couple of thousand defense on them and you should be basically safe. You get increased defense from Wixwell. Everything is a little bit more easy. We could use the intercept of him, but actually I'm not too sure how it works. Intercept is another buff. For example, we have 2 Valeries right there. And one of them gets stunned. If I put the intercept on a Valerie that gets stunned, she basically has more buffs than the other. Doesn't it make the last Valerie to the stun target? Wait, I gotta check that out. I really do. Let me firstly check out who's gonna get the stun, so we can make actually sure what's going on. I gotta test it now. That's what I do literally. That's what I do for fun. Which Valerie? It was the fully outside one. So she's gonna cleanse. Let me put it away. Wixwell, he has an off turn, so we're gonna use that on her. Now she has the intercept. Let's see if that Valerie now is gonna get the stun because she has one more buff. That would be not so good for the intercept on a single target, because you kind of make the target not the stun target anymore if you are not on void, and it is hard to make them all on one combine all affinities in one, and that would actually maybe hurt you in this comp right now. Let's see. I'm curious. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, wait, is it the turn? Ah, it's not the turn. Wait, I want to see it. And now the speed won't never change. So the speed tune is always exactly the same. On green affinity is more dynamic. So let's see. Let's see. Okay. Huh. It is nice, but it's kind of a little bit confusing for me, because I think more buffs, he will always attack the one with the lower buffs, and the rules about Clanboss are not so clear, and intercept is new, so I have no idea. But it seems like the boss is not counting as a real buff on the champion. That is really nice to actually do something. And yeah, you can see right now it is working. I can put a Geomancer in here. I can put a Feign in here, and we will do easy a wonky. But I wanted to do it with a Kale. It didn't work for me, but I put him in the thumbnail and everything. It is kind of making a point. Free to play, let's go. You did the fusion, yes, you have access to a team that literally can do one key for you if you have the right DPS in that case. Yeah, and just for the sake of it, so I actually did it. I did maybe a 1 key with Kale. I think if we are super lucky we can do it, but let's see what's gonna do the quick battle for us. Let's go, come on, 70.2 million. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. 65. So close. I almost forgot to show you the actual builds on the champions. He's in a reflex, like I said. You probably can do it without it. Maybe if you do like Harris, more tanky, more defense, like don't bother about HP at all in those kind of comps. Just defense is what you basically want. And yeah, he is in a reflex set. Speed is 268 minimum. And yeah, masteries and stuff, of course, avoid everything that gives you turn meter, and you know the drill. On a Blessing, I don't have anything helpful right now. It is Soul Reap. And Harris is in a poison set. The stats are like that. I do not have any boosts in Clanboss. Wait, I'm gonna show you. And wait, I do have a little bit of a crit damage, but I basically do not have any boosts in there. That's why I show you just the normal thing, because it is basically what I do have. And yeah, masteries and stuff like that. Our big boy Kale, almost doing the whole damage, almost wonky, like for real. Like imagine farmable champions plus a starter champion and Wixwell. How low can the requirements go, to be honest? So we will check out the stats quickly on Kale. Those are the stats. I made him damage only, because I can use those two Valories to actually catch the stun. So one of them is always getting the stun. Kale does not get the stun. So that's basically just an easy go for me. And I made him all the way like that. He has emergency heal, but it actually does not fit for the theme of the video, because we don't actually want our shields be broken. Valorie number 1. And Valorie number 2. Maybe you thought, why didn't you show the masteries? Because I do not have any of them. I just literally farmed them for the video, made them level 60, used my own resources and stuff. So, but I also have to talk about the team order quickly. Those are all important, so you all are getting the same thing if you want to do something like that. No, we don't want to go in Hydra. We can actually enter something in here, so let's talk about in a dungeon about it. So let's talk about in here. Alright, so all the way down here. Team order is important. The slower one needs of our Valorie needs to be in front, so she will be stunned and she's actually gonna cleanse it. So the slower one is actually right there. Wait, she isn't. Forget what I said. Team order is basically the opposite. The slower one needs to, the faster one needs to be in front. Yes, I say it again. The faster one needs to be in front. So the slower one can cleanse the faster one. Let me say it like that. And yes, you can have replacements in here, but you gotta think about it. The stun needs to go on your targets. So you kind of have to control it, and the thing is, it is a little bit hard on the end. You can change 100% the faster Valorie, and it will be okay if you use a Mikage, if you use a Hellspawn, if you whatever you wanna bring. That should be okay, but you gotta keep in mind, if the affinity is on, wait, what it is? On red, then you actually need another stun target. It would be in our case Kale, so I would put Kale in the front and stuff like that. So you gotta think about it a little bit, where the stun is going, and then you have to optimize it on here, and it still can go. But I wanted to basically want to make a team that just has farmable champions in there, and I think I did a great job. And yeah, now let's really go into the calculator. Let's continue in the speed calculator. I could talk 15 more minutes. There are really there's a ton to talk about, like when you change your affinities and stuff, how it is gonna change. Is it gonna be stable all the way, all those 1500 turns? Is it gonna change anything if you change the difficulty? And it will change, obviously, but in a way that is all good for us, and everything is still stable. We can see, oh, we got all the shields in the world. And I can talk for 50 minutes, but what I recommend is go ahead, download the software you see right now. I give you a code that is literally for me right now. I can just copy it, put it in the description. There, you can find it over there, obviously. And you can put it in here, press import, and you can see that section for yourself. And I made a couple of tutorials about this calculator right now. Check that out if you want to, and you want to go into deeper, like what all those things are. That there are crazy stuff in here. And on the end, if you have questions, like usually I get like questions, can I go 250 speed or something because I have that and that, and she's locked over there, and stuff like that. And then you can still go ahead, put 2 more speed in her, and you see what is gonna change, and you can figure out for yourself. It is still gonna work for you, and it is not so tight as you might think about the speeds right now. And you can use a couple of different speeds over there, but it is so much to talk about, and I highly recommend to download it, because yeah, I literally showed you what you can do like crazy. No human in the world, to be honest, can just make a so complicated thing happen while it is still working as you want. To be honest, I never would figure out something like that. I can make a a Hydra with 2 Painkeepers, Emic and Man-Eater, I can do that by myself. I did not use the calculator for that one. So I kind of know how the drill is in speed calculating. I got a feeling for it. But something like that, unimaginable. No way, for real, no way. And yeah, I highly recommend it. That also will be the end of the video. If you don't mind, put a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't done already, and yeah, have a nice day.